Welcome back, everyone. It's Evan Husa57 here, and today I have a special video for you. So, first of all, just got to 7,000 subscribers. Thanks to everybody that subscribed. Secondly, this video will be for tips and tricks to be the most successful on PS4. Now, I do not have a PS4, but Neverwinter is launching in a couple of days on the PlayStation 4, and pretty much launching at the same mod that Xbox is on. So all of my videos will apply in the same way to PS4. However, there are a couple things that I want to go over before I actually get into the tips and tricks. So please give me a couple minutes and bear with me. One, as you can see, I have a lot of characters, and if you've seen any of my other videos, you know for a fact that I am an expert on the Wizard and the Paladin, and I'm very familiar with most of the classes in the game, so I do know what I'm talking about. There are a lot of guides on YouTube, and not all of them are created equally. That's all I'm going to say as far as that goes. But I know what I'm doing, so I have a bunch of guides. There's going to be several links and several annotations in the video to other videos and to other series that will greatly help you out and give you kind of a leg up when starting off in this game, because you will be starting out at mod 9. So basically, that's that. The other thing is, my videos do not showcase glitches or exploits. There are some that do. Just be careful if you use a video that shows a exploit or glitch, or if you find a exploit or glitch, because you can get banned for that. So keep that in mind when you're starting out, that, like I said, not all videos are created equally. So here we go. Now, all of my videos will apply to the PS4 as well. They're all labeled with what mod they're in and full of good information and tips and tricks. To start out, I have been told that there is a pack that you can get for the PS4 that I think it costs like, I don't know, $20 or $40 or something like that, and it gives you a week early access. I believe it comes out tomorrow, July 12th. That pack is worth it simply for the week early access, and I think it gives you like 20 lockbox keys or something along those lines. I don't know exactly what it comes with, but just the fact that it gives you a week's access early is very well worth it. Now, the number one thing that I can tell you is not to make the same mistakes that players here on Xbox made. We did not have current, updated, accurate guides for anything. Farming refinement, how to refine stuff, dungeons, events, character builds, nothing like that. We did not have any of that, so everything was hit or miss basically for us, because the PC was 3 mods ahead of us. You're coming in at the same mod, so everything is going on now and applies to Xbox is going to apply to PlayStation 4. With that being said, please do me a favor. Normally I say at the end of the video to make sure that you like and share it. Please do me a favor and go ahead and like and share it now, so we can get as many people that need this information to know about it. Alright, so starting off, number one thing is going to be character creation. Now, this is not one of those games that you can just jump in and pick, oh, I want to play as a dwarf and, whatever. Character creation is one of the most important steps, if not the most important step, because it costs a lot of in-game currency or money if you chose to spend money on the game in order to change your character's race, your character's role, or respec. So you want to get it right the first time. Either use a build where somebody tells you specifically what you need to do, or take your time and look very carefully at what race, and let's go ahead and look at, let's say, what class. Class being the most important. So you have your choice between a Guardian Fighter, Great Weapon Fighter, Oathbound Paladin, Scourge Warlock, Hunter Ranger, Control Wizard, Devoted Cleric, and a Trickster Rogue. Out of all of these, what you have to decide is your play style. What more suits the way that you want to play this game. This is not like a Elder Scrolls game where you can start off being a rogue and end up using a bow and arrow and shooting spells. It doesn't work that way. Your class is what you will be, and that is determined by your playstyle. So if you kind of like to do PvP and a mix of close range combat, stab things in the back, run away, that type of stuff, Trickster Rogue. They're very squishy though. If they take a hit, they're dead. They're okay in dungeons, but not one of the most looked for DPS classes. Devoted Clerics. If you want to be a support class and you want to be a healer, Devoted Clerics are the way to go. Again, they don't do a whole lot of damage. They can be spec'd DPS, they can be spec'd haste, and they can be spec'd full throttle heals. So there are several different builds available for the Devoted Cleric. Control Wizard. Now this is my area of expertise. On the Control Wizard, it's kind of weird. They have a couple different builds. You can be a support DPS build, you can be a full DPS build, and then there's single target builds, which are PvP. I don't recommend single target. Control Wizards are very, very squishy. They only wear cloth armor, but they deal in a lot of stuns, as the name says, freezing targets, stunning targets, depending upon their powers, and they do massive area of effect, or AoE damage. They also do a lot of dot, or damage over time. So, very fun class to play, but it's a class that cannot take a hit. Most enemies will one-shot you. Hunter Ranger. Kind of an odd class to play, not one that I really got into too much because of the fact that you constantly are switching between ranged and melee combat. Very interesting, can do a lot of damage, can be built as a permastun build for PvP, very annoying in PvP to fight against. Scourge Warlocks, possibly the highest damaging class currently in the game. Would be a toss-up between the Scourge and the Great Weapon Fighter, edged right under that, the Control Wizard. If you build a Scourge Warlock right, they can do massive amounts of damage, both single target and AoE. It is a complex class, though, and you must know exactly when to use what powers. So, it's an easy class to play, but it's a hard class to master. Oathbound Paladin, not as useful after the update, but they can still be good tanks, and they can also be very, very good healers, to the point that they even out-heal clerics. I have 2 builds for paladins if you're interested, but paladin is another one of those classes that's hard to master. They're not exactly the best one to start with. Then you have your Great Weapon Fighter. Pretty simple, kind of a finicky class, can be one of the highest damage dealers, basically meant to just run in and smack shit in the face with a giant sword. Easy character to level up, relatively easy character to master, but there are a lot of them in-game, so keep that in mind. Great Weapon Fighters are all over the place. Generally, all DPS characters are all over the place. Then you have the Guardian Fighter, which most people skip. Now, this has to suit your playstyle. You have to be somebody that likes playing a support class and likes taking all the damage for the team, keeping the team alive. If you do like that, the Guardian Fighter is for you. The Guardian Fighter can be literally the most useful class in a dungeon. So, keep that in mind. If you like to play that way, that's going to be the way that you play. Now, I know I took a little bit of time to go through this, but I want to show you. Let's say we're going to set up to go ahead and make a Control Wizard. Now, human is okay for Control Wizard. Half Orc, no way. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you look at your racial abilities under each race before you select that race for whatever class you're going to make. Those racial abilities, they are insane as far as the amount of help that they give you late game. Half-orcs make great weapon fighters. Just excellent character for that. Wood elves, excellent race for hunter rangers. Dwarves or human for guardian fighters. Halflings, not really that useful. Half-elves are okay. Tiefling is your main DPS class. Tiefling is going to be pretty much the best tied with human for a wizard or potentially a warlock. But let's look at a wizard. So, Tiefling, full DPS build, wizard. When you get to this screen, you can pick what you want. You can pick your racial ability bonus as being either basically charisma and constitution, or in the case of the wizard, you want charisma and intelligence. That racial ability bonus will be different depending upon each race. And you can, of course, adjust how your character looks. But the biggest thing is this press X to reroll stats. That press X to reroll stats is what you want to do until you get the highest roll possible, a roll that suits you. In this case, it would be 20 intelligence and 15 charisma, being pretty much, the best stats on the wizard. Once you're comfortable with that, you can go into continue, and you can modify all of the aesthetics on your character. So we're not actually going to make that class because I already have one. Alright, now you can see my wizard that you're probably familiar with if you've seen any of my other videos. So, now that we're actually in-game, and we did take about 10 minutes to cover point 1, but that's literally the most important thing, is getting your character right straight off the bat. So now, you already have your character, you've decided on what your playstyle is going to be, if you're going to run with friends, what characters they like to run with, all that. You're in-game, you go through the little bit of a tutorial. Now what do? Okay, well, you have a ton of videos that you can watch explaining a lot of different stuff, but you're here to be basically to be the best that you can, to be as successful as you possibly can right out of the gate since the game just launched. So a few things that you need to know. There are quests that will teach you this, but not until a later level. So what you want to do is pull up your menu and go down to the Tarmaloon Trade House. This is going to be the spot where you can sell items that you find for diamonds, and you can also buy items for diamonds. The next thing to keep an eye on is the Astral Diamond Exchange. This is where you can use diamonds to buy Zen, and you can also sell your Zen, which is a currency that you spend money on, for diamonds. Now, you're going to keep an eye on this because, just like a disclaimer, all of this is player controlled. So it is going to change, it is going to be extremely volatile, and it's going to change without absolutely any warning. You're going to have to stay on top of it. I cannot possibly predict what prices are going to be. So if you see a good deal, you're going to have to use your own judgment whether or not you should take advantage of that deal. So watch those. Now, when you get in game, you're going to have a couple basic quests. If you did not spend any money on the game, that is fine. You don't have to. I have not spent a single penny on this game, and I've gotten as far as I have without doing that and have no intention of spending money on the game. So basically, you're going to be coming to Protector's Enclave. You're going to want to do every quest, both mainline and side quests. That's going to give you the most XP. Most of the quests are going to be from Sergeant Knox. He's also going to give you a quest, and if you bought the little early access pack, you're going to have this vendor over here, the rewards claim agent. And any packs that you buy, if you do spend money on the game to buy Zen, and you buy packs like the Heirloom pack, or the Scourge Warlock booster pack, or you link your Arc account, where you can get your free companion, and this is also where you get your Sigils. So, all that, keep in mind, is over there at the rewards claim agent. Now, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get your character leveled up as fast as possible. You want to get to 70 as quick as you can. So, do all your quests. Make sure at level 11 you get the quest to talk to this lady right here, and you will learn about invocation. Basically, where you come to an altar like this or a bonfire, and you can invoke. you're going to get these little bags of refining, which are either going to give you refinement points, coupons, or basic enchantments. And you will also get, depending upon the blessing's time and your character level, you will get XP and rough diamonds. So that's going to start you out on getting the diamonds. Now, once you have that done, you can do that at level 11 and higher. After that, you're going to have access to professions. Now, they come a little bit later, but professions are a very big, important part of this game. Now, since the game will literally be just starting, you will want to pick a profession that suits your character. I did not do that. I picked mailsmithing because I was trying to help out a friend. So what we're looking at in mailsmithing, professions go up to level 25, which is max level. And you want to go ahead and work on these as fast as you can, within reason, because when the game first comes out, you're going to have access to a lot of things that are going to be in demand. This is basic economics, supply and demand. The earlier you get into it, and the earlier that you can make high-priced items or find high-priced end-game or even mid-game items, the more money you're going to be able to make off of them. The later that you get into it, the less money you're going to be able to make. Simple math. But the reason why you do your professions, if we scroll down here all the way down to the bottom, you're actually going to be able to make some pretty interesting rewards. And they're basically what everybody is going to want. Now, you might not sell them right away. It might be, after a week that the game's been out. But just be patient with it. It's probably going to take you a good few days to get up there. So what you're looking for are the shirt and pants and the major kits. The major armor kits are going to be pretty expensive, so you won't make them right away because you need unified elements and dragon eggs. 2 items that are going to be very expensive for quite a while in-game. They don't really fall off in price for a long time. After that, you're going to be looking at the shirt and pants. Now, the problem with the shirt and pants is you don't always get them all the time. Like, you have to make the base ones and then go up from there, but it'll be like these chainmail. Say like Berserker's, elemental chainmail. That is one of the shirts. And basically what you have to do is you have to go through and you have to make all the different shirts. So you'll have to make the regular shirt and then you can upgrade it. And long story short, you're looking for one of the rare professions, which will be up here. They change every hour. And you're looking for one of those that will let you make the exquisite, which is something that looks like this. Right there, I have my gemmed exquisite elemental pants. That is the highest level pants that you can get on a control wizard. And they're going to give you the best stats, plus they're going to have a defensive slot. And if we look them up right now in the trade house, very simply go into equipment, and we're going to go to pants for the category. Just put gemmed, or just put gem, quality epic, class, control wizard, minimum item level 145. Search. The cheapest price for them right now, 90,000. That is incredibly cheap. These are level 70 pants. Most likely, when this first comes out on PS4, those pants are going to be easily 250,000, if not more. Maybe even 500,000 when they first come out, like they were on Xbox. Now, that pricing is not going to stay the same all the time. Keep that in mind, because the material that you need, like, say, dragon eggs are pretty cheap right now on Xbox because there's a lot of ways that you can get them. And that's just one of those things that you got to keep in mind is the supply and demand of it. Supply and demand. So if the materials are more expensive, like right now, they're about 2K a piece. A little less than 2K for dragon eggs. That's insanely cheap. On PS4, they're probably going to start out around 30K. So everything is going to have value to it. Now, if you bought the pack, you're going to have these enchanted keys. Enchanted keys are used to open lockboxes. If you open lockboxes, you can get some junk out of them, and you can get some pretty good items out of them as well. So that'll be up to you if you want to go ahead and use your keys on lockboxes. Once you get a little bit of diamonds, or if you do spend some money on the game, what you want to do right off the bat is make sure that you buy yourself 1 month of VIP, because you're going to get a lot of bonuses with that, including a daily key for the lockboxes. That's actually how I got this many keys, so I can do an opening video, is through VIP. Now, after that, while you're leveling, you're going to get gear that you can use for your character. 1 to 60 is not very important. Pick up whatever gear you can that has better stats. After 60, use the quest gear. After 70, you're going to be hunting for gear that looks like mine. So, what you're going to look at is when you get gear that has a utility slot. Right off the bat, when you're leveling, you're going to want to use Azor enchantments in your utility slots. They're basically enchantments that look like that. And if you put it in a utility slot, it gives you experience gain. That is just very, very important. There is also insignias on your mounts, which you can buy a mount to start off with for 5 gold, or you can farm them from events, or you can buy them with currency or off of the trade house. But you're going to have insignias, and all of these insignias have different bonuses. Some of the insignias will actually give you bonuses that will help with XP, like this one right there. It gives me plus 2% glory, gold, and experience gain. So all of your, basically all of your mounts are very important. Now, once you get to level 70, that's going to be your next step. I know this video is a little bit boring because I'm just kind of running around standing in one spot, but you know what? That's okay. This is important, and this is more of a tutorial than me actually farming something. So there's going to be a couple things that you want to go for once you get to 70. Your campaigns are going to be one of the most important things for you to do to make your character more powerful. The more powerful your character is, the easier you will be able to run dungeons, and you will be able to farm, collect rewards, and sell those rewards. So that is a big part of playing this game, is doing the campaigns. Now, the first campaign that you will have access to is Tyranny of Dragons. You can start that, I want to say, around level 25 or 26. It's a good idea to start that as you're leveling up, because it takes quite a while to complete the Tyranny of Dragons campaign. The rest of them are all level 70 campaigns, except for Elemental Evil, which you can work on over level 61. Anyways, you want to get them all done. When you hit 70, the 2 campaigns you want to do right away are Sharndar and the Dread Ring. Those are the 2 most important for boons. Icewind Dale takes a long time, but is very important for your elemental gear after that. Now that you've got your campaigns done, you need to think about items that are refinement, and you need to think about making astral diamonds. That's going to be events. So again, under your main menu, go down to calendar, and you're going to want to keep an eye on the events. Now, like I said, it comes out on PS4, I believe, on the 12th if you have the early access pack, and the 19th if you don't. That's still going to throw you in the middle of the summer festival, which is a festival that is not that great, but for brand new players would be pretty decent, because you could get some okay rewards, including another mount. Now, depending on when you get thrown in, I don't know exactly if you'll have the same events or not, but if you do, you're going to want to make sure that you pay attention to them. Double seals, very important. I did a video on why it's important, but that's going to help you get your gear. Then you have double enchants, starting on like the 21st, and around the 28th, you have double experience. That's going to help you level up your characters massively. So pay attention and check this calendar screen, because you never know when they're going to throw up an event, or if they might give you a different event. Also, once you hit about level 30, you're going to have the ability to get a daily dungeon chest key. Basically, from this guy right here, you'll have a quest, and you'll be able to take that daily dungeon key. Now, you can only have one of those at a time, but that saves you the cost of buying a dungeon key, an epic dungeon chest key, which is something that looks like that. Now, you get those from VIP as well, but if you only have level 1 VIP, you only get one of those keys per day. The Sigils vendor is in this main spot of Protector's Enclave. This is the guy you're going to come to once you're level 70 and you get your elemental seals, and then you start getting your protector seals, because you have your item level 130 gear, and then you have your item level 135 gear. After that, you'll be worried about getting into a guild, getting dragon fangs, and, going that way. Also, over here is the bank, which is where every character has a personal bank that you can put stuff in. You can buy extra bank slots like I have. Otherwise, you just have the traditional 16 bank slots. But every character has their own personal bank, so making multiple characters is a good idea. Once you've done that, you want to make sure that you do your campaigns every day when you hit level 70, because there's a lot of good stuff that you can get from the campaigns, including experience, upgraded gauntlets, all kinds of stuff like that. Basically, all your refinement points. Now, we'll take a look at refinement points real quick and why refinement points are very important. Refinement points are used to upgrade your enchantments. They're used to upgrade your artifact weapons, your artifact belt, your artifact neck, and all 4 of your artifacts. We'll cover getting your first artifact in a minute. So, what you're going to want for refinement points is whatever you can get. The first thing that you're going to want to use or get your hands on is called a Dragon's Horde enchantment. Pretty simple thing to get. You can make them in the Tyranny of Dragons campaign. What that is when you kill an enemy, you have a chance to find a refining stone at your feet. That refinement is bound to account, but it is very helpful. After that, you will be able to get your hands on what's called a Fey Blessing enchantment. Works similar to the Dragon's Horde, except for the fact that it is one of those enchantments that basically finds a different type of refinement. It finds enchantments instead of refining stones. Now, that is another way that you can make currency, is by going into the campaign. When the game first comes out, if you get your Tyranny of Dragons campaign up to the point that you can actually make Dragon Horde enchantments, which it'll take you about little over 10 days to do, you can go in and you can spend your campaign currency and 5,000 diamonds to make a lesser Dragon Horde enchantment. Now, when you start off, those Dragon Horde enchantments are going to be, one, very, very helpful for your character, like insanely helpful for your character, and they're going to be quite profitable to sell. If you look at them now, a lesser Dragon Horde enchantment is only selling for 20k. So you invest 5k plus your gold plus your time to make, after trade house cut, maybe a 10k profit. It's okay to start, but it's not very good. Not for us on Xbox. However, when this comes out for you guys on PS4, those lesser Dragon Horde enchantments are probably going to sell for 50k a piece, just due to the fact that nobody will have them. So, another way for you to make some pretty good money off of doing that. Once you get to 70, you're going to want to start farming as soon as possible. So, this is going to be your queue system, and you're going to want to go in and make sure that as soon as your character is ready, you start running your basic stuff that will give you salvageable gear and refinement. Also, it's going to help you get the 130, item level 130 gear. That's going to be Kessel's Retreat, Shores of Torin, and technically like Malabog's Castle, Valindra's Tower, and then Lair of Lostmouth. After you have your item level 130 gear, you're going to run Temple of the Spider, because that is the easiest master to run to get Protector Seals. Now, you do have to be a 2K item level to do that, but that'll give you your protector seals for your item level 135 Elven. Once you have at least 2400 item level, then you can consider running Castle Never, which is the most profitable dungeon in the game. Do keep that in mind. Those are base item levels. If you queue up for Lostmouth with 1600 item level, you better have the right team for it, because it is going to be difficult to do. Now, what I mentioned before, we're going to talk about getting your very first artifact. You're not going to get this quest until you're in the Black Dagger Runes, I believe. And it's a quest that you're going to have to come back, talk to Sergeant Knox, and it's going to basically let you choose one of the first 4 artifacts for free. It'll be green, of course, so you'll have to fully refine it. But you have access to a lantern, you have access to a couple different ones. Lantern, waters, catalog, or I think there's one other one, or that might be the only 3 that you have access to. But for every DPS class, you're going to want the lantern. There are a couple of classes that will take the waters, but pretty much the waters and the catalog are going to be useless artifacts. You always want the lantern. That's going to give you, for DPS classes, critical strike, armor pen, and combat advantage bonus as you upgrade it. Plus, its use puts a debuff on the enemy. It's an excellent artifact to have. But you'll be able to get an artifact pretty darn easy. Your second artifact, once you get up to about 70, is going to be a quest from the Vault of the Nine. That's literally going to be the name of the quest. Once you do that, you'll be able to claim a sigil for your specific character, what I showed you in the beginning of the video. And you'll claim that here at the rewards claim agent. That sigil will be available on every character. So you can claim whatever one you have unlocked. These sigils are not the best, but they are very helpful for certain classes. And just to go ahead and get an artifact on your character, you really can't beat at least having one of those, because artifacts normally come out of lockboxes, very rare drops from dungeons, or you buy them on the Tarmaloon Trade House. Which is another thing. If you look at artifacts, if you run, say, Lara Lostmouth and you get his horn, well, yeah, you're going to make a lot of money when it first comes out. Because right now, artifacts are pretty plentiful, so you can get, an Artifact of Union for 90k. Even a Portal Stone, a blue Portal Stone, for 100k. These artifacts, waters for 100k. That's dirt cheap for artifacts. Normally, these artifacts are double the price, if not more. So when you get them on PS4, you're going to be looking at a much more expensive item. Like, if somebody managed to get a horn, instead of being 220k or 225k, it would probably be 300 to 400k. It's just law of supply and demand. So everything has its value. Everything has its worth. You just want to be one of the first people to get your character leveled up, geared out, and starting to farm and working on your professions. Once you have that done, you'll be set. And then you just slowly work on, when they're on sale, buying some extra character slots, eventually buying bags, things like that. Do remember that if you come over here to a mailbox, you can actually mail items from other characters to yourself, or from the same character to yourself. As long as the item is not bound, you can mail it to you, and that will save you some inventory space hassle. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, comments, anything like that, make sure that you leave a comment. Otherwise, go ahead and remember to smash the like button. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, please share the video with your friends. Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is that you guys use nowadays. That will greatly help me out with the searchability of videos here on YouTube, and that'll also help everyone else out who's trying to get started in this game on PS4, because it is one of those games that it's very easy to pick up and start, but there's a fairly steep learning curve to it as to how complicated the game can be. And if you don't catch on right away or have anyone to help you, it can be a game that's difficult to master. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to leave a comment on the video. Like I said, I'll leave annotations to other videos and other series that will help you out with specific parts of the game. You can also message me if you have an Xbox One. You can message me here on Xbox, and I'll be happy to answer any questions for you. But other than that, good luck. Remember, just, play it safe, take your time, and try and get your stuff leveled up as fast as possible. Biggest thing is not making that mistake on what character you pick or your character's build right off the bat. Those are the two biggest things that will cause you to not have fun with the game and just be very discouraged by it. The other thing is, just don't trust trades. If somebody says that they're going to give you an enchantment or something, but you have to give them something first, don't trust it. It kind of goes without saying. It's common sense, but those people are generally scammers. If you have a friend that says, hey, I'm going to give you this, this enchantment, you can use it, give me an enchantment back, or, return it to me when you're done using it, that's a different story. But if you just have some random person that's like, I walk up to this guy and tell him, hey, buddy, I'll let you borrow my Transcendent Dread enchantment, but first you got to give me a Vorpal enchantment. That's a scam. There's no way that is not a scam. So just keep your eyes out for that. Use common sense. Remember, it's a player-controlled game and a player-controlled market, so pricing can change. Do not, expect that, I said dragon eggs were going to be probably 30k. If they don't go up to 30k, or if they go up over 30k, don't try and hold me to it. Like I said, player-controlled market, so it's pure speculation. You have to use your best judgment and common sense when it comes to what you want to buy and sell, or buy and resell, or what you want to farm, because you can get all kinds of very valuable items. You just have to know how to do it and when to sell them, or what event to farm. Hopefully you enjoyed. Good luck. I will catch you all next time.